I've got the spare tire mount finished up. Only thing left to do is get it primed and painted. I used the half 20 bolts. These are the same ones I had bought for mine. Just clean the back of it off there so I could get them welded on there good. And actually the only thing I'm missing is I ordered the hardware. So we've got stainless steel U-bolts for the bumper, and I bought the lug nuts also from McMaster Car. Today being Friday, so I won't get them until Monday, but that'll give me a chance to go ahead and get this thing painted up over the weekend. And then I'll be seeing Steve middle of next week, and we'll get it mounted on his trailer. But it turned out good, so I decided to go ahead and add the extra gusset there and on the bottom, just because his tire is substantially going to be a little more heavier than mine, because he actually just upgraded to a 14 ply tire for his trailer as well. This is just my spare off of my equipment trailer right there. I'm using this as a sample just to test everything. I have the same size wheel and everything on mine, and I'll show you what it looks like mounted up. They got very lucky coming back from the last trip. They were probably about an hour outside of being home, and he runs these tire pressure sensors on his tires, which I plan on getting for my trailer too. But he had one that it gave him notification that one of his tires, which was the front driver's side tire on the trailer, it was going low. It was losing air pressure. So he pulled off on the exit there, and I got out and checked it, and sure enough, he said it had dropped down to, I think, like 50 pounds or so. And so he just went ahead and aired it back up, and they lived about another 45 minutes from there, and he was able to make it home without it, you know, going flat or blowing out on him. And he went ahead the same day they got home, he ordered brand new tires, and then 2 days later he got it down there to the tire shop, and they've got them replaced. He went with some kind of I believe it's a Michelin brand equipment trailer tire, a 14 ply tire, and should be really good. It should be something very similar to this. He says the tire shop that he uses, they said that they bought it, or they used that same tire that they sold to him on all of the county school buses, and anytime people come in like heavy duty equipment trailers. So hopefully with his new 14 ply tires on the trailer, he's not going to have any issues with any kind of blowouts. Because one of the problems that you have with those big fifth wheels is that whenever you get kind of, if you've got to turn really sharp into somewhere and you start jackknifing, you know, the trailer, one of those tires, you know, the axle, it starts pushing on the tire. And that's what he noticed happen whenever he was trying to get it back into the last spot. You know, it was actually shoving this tire, and the guy at the shop said, yeah, he could tell that it messed up the tire, and that's why he was having issues with it. And it started leaking air, so it did something to the tire there. So anyway, he's got four brand new 14 ply tires with a warranty. Hopefully he's not going to have any issue with that, and he'll have his brand new tire mount on the back of his trailer that will properly hold it. And now I've got it elevated up off of the where it's not hanging down here below the bumper, you know, so that it would hit something. I'll go ahead and throw this on there just so you can see what it's going to look like mounted up. There we are, mounted up. Everything fits real good there. I used the DRO, the pitch circle diameter function, to drill the hole pattern there, just using you know, 3 of the holes obviously. And I did it like this because I feel you can come up with the tire. These are heavy, so you know, if he's ever having to take this on and off and I'm not around, he'll probably, you know, him and his wife will have to you know, pick that up together, and then you know, you set it on these studs, and that one just kind of automatically lines up. So I just think that configuration is a little more helpful when you're trying to mount the tire, because these are very heavy. Abby's just now stepping in.
Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. I'm just showing him your dad's new
oh, it looks great.
your dad's new tire rack. What do you think?
He's gonna be so excited.
I know he's pretty excited that it's happening, but I haven't shown him yet. Think it'll work?
Absolutely.
Of course it'll work.
Of course it'll work. It's beautiful.
Next step is getting you out here welding.
I'll do it.
We got to teach you how to weld.
I'll do it.
She's ready.
I'm ready.
Well, I got a story to tell you. So we're at Reagan's family campground, and we are actually on our way down to Clearwater for a week. And the plan was to come to Reagan's today, stay the night, go to the pool over there, and then tomorrow hook everything up, head down to Clearwater. It's exactly half distance from home. Well, I told you about Steve getting new tires on their fifth wheel. Unfortunately, they got approximately 100 miles down the road from leaving their house, and they had a blowout on one of those brand new tires. It was the right rear tire, that one right there, completely blew out on him. And he had the tire sensors on. It did not give him a warning, so it blew all at one time. As soon as they got the warning is when the tire blew, so there was no leak down or anything. So at this point right now, you know, neither I, him, or whoever doesn't know what's the deal with that tire. If these are bad quality tires that they sold him and put on the camper, or what the deal is. But they have been waiting for the Road Warrior crew to get there and help him change that tire out. I don't know, it's really hot. I don't know if Steve can physically you know, get out there by himself and change that tire. They have AAA, so they've had that one incident before, and they send somebody out to help him change it. So they've been waiting on that crew to come and help him change the tire. And so they're going to put their spare on. And so whenever all this happened when we were driving down here, I told him, I said, when we get to Madison, because that's where we're at, I will go up into Madison and purchase a tire and a rim to have as another spare for their camper. So that's what I did. I called Hall's Tire and Muffler up in Madison, and they had a 14-ply tire and an 8-lug rim for his camper. And so when we got here, we just unhooked, you know, just got lightly set up, and I got up there and I bought him a new tire. So I was going to show you, that's what we got right here. There is our new 14-ply Hercules tire. This is the same exact tire that I bought and got on my equipment trailer at home, the flat deck equipment trailer. So far it's been really good for me. I think this is going to be a good tire. Hopefully this is a made in Taiwan tire, and I believe the ones that he got on there, he said that they call them high run, and I believe they're made in China. But like I said, since that thing blew out so fast, you know, we don't know if it was just one bad faulty tire, and we're going to find out here pretty soon, because they're actually changing the tire now. If they're going to get down the road and they're going to have another one blow out. If that happens, then we're going to be getting all of those tires swapped out on that camper again with a new set. He called the tire dealer there in Daphne that he got them at. They were absolutely zero help. I think it was called Mavis Tire, and he said he called, tried to talk to the manager, tell him about what was going on, and all he said was, well, it should be under warranty. Well, no kidding, it's under warranty. But that's why you buy tires, you know, new tires, is because that's supposed to help give you a peace of mind going down the road that you've got fresh tires on your rig. You shouldn't have any worries with blowouts as long as you have the proper rated tires for your camper, for your trailer, for the load that you're going with. And that's why they sold them those particular tires, is that they were supposed to be a high load rated for a camper. But apparently, hopefully he's just got that one bad tire and there's not going to be more problems. So anyway, they should be here in probably about 3 hours, and I hope there's not going to be any issue, you know, between there and here with another blowout, you know, and of course the whole rest of the trip, because we're going down to Clearwater. But if there is, we'll deal with it at that point. If he has another issue, we'll just go get all new tires on that thing, go with these. The tire dealer I got this from, he had 2 more in stock, and he said that if he wanted, you know, he could have a full set here in the morning at 9 o'clock. And I think Steve said that we're just going to go ahead and run what he's got, see what they do. We do have a spare here, so we'll just go with it. There's the spare tire rack. So our plan was when they get in the day, we were going to get that bolted on, get his spare bolted on there. But now this is going to be the spare right here. So I'll show you guys that whenever we get there. I was going to show you mounting that spare tire rack on, and I'll show you what that tire looks like whenever he gets here with it too. So it's just very unfortunate. It's very frustrating to have to deal with this kind of stuff. Luckily for me, my Goodyear Endurance tires that I upgraded for our camper here. Haven't had any problems yet. Those are supposed to be some of the top rated tires for that size and classification right there. We'll bring you back whenever we do the spare tire rack though, all right? All right, well, it's the next morning, and Steve and Lori, they made it in safe, thankfully. So you had quite an adventure yesterday, didn't you?
It was something I would not suggest for anyone to go through. It was
it was just a
crazy day.
It was a snowballed effect
Crazy
there
day.
of
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take care of the we're going to get the new tire rack mounted. There is the new spare that that'll be the spare right there. So here's his tire rack that I was talking about. This is what typically comes on all campers, and just look how mangled up that thing is. This is where you said you're going into your storage unit, or you
Yeah.
hit a transition.
Any spot that's low that the camper goes down, the tire hangs down so far below it, it just drags it and lifts the tire up, and it bends and mangles that thing.
So not only does it bend this, it's going to possibly screw up your spare tire also in the same time. And then the guys that mounted it on there like completely stripped out this carriage bolt there to where you got to hold it with pliers and then, you know, use your lug wrench. So anyway, we're going to take that off, and we're going to go ahead and get the new one mounted on. I'm going to take them over there and show them what happened to your tire first.
Perfect.
Let's go check that out.
Perfect.
So there it is. There's the carnage. A brand new tire that had, you said 60 or 100 miles? 60?
60 miles.
60 miles on it, brand new, and it just shredded. Look at that right there, man. That is crazy. And luckily, Steve's got the tire sensor monitor on all 4 tires, but you said it just blew at once, and you got the notification as soon as it blew.
I had no notification that the tire, usually it'll tell you it's losing air. This just went from 100 pounds to 22.
Yeah.
And just beeping, beeping, beeping. It never gave us any warning that we were losing air, which tells us that it just blew that and the sensor totally off the rim.
Right. And so you were driving for just a few seconds, and then
just enough to break down and get off the road.
Yeah, there was a guy. You said there was a guy came by you. It was pointing down, saying, "Hey, your tire blew."
Right. At the same exact time. So he saw it blow. And we got off fortunately right then. So we didn't have any undercarriage damage whatsoever. It didn't flop up and hit it. It just, the tire blew off the rim and just wrapped around the axle. So we couldn't have gone very far anyway. Yeah.
All right, and luckily there wasn't any major damage to the camper, because that could have been a catastrophic episode there. But luckily the Road Rangers, Star FHP, right?
That's correct.
Florida Highway Patrol, they were excellent. They came out and helped them. It was just a delay because the AAA guy came out and he was absolutely no help. I think that was Willie Frank, Shade Tree Mechanic, that came the first time to help you.
Guaranteed.
He didn't even have a jack.
Or his apprentice didn't even have a jack to come change a tire.
He was more concerned about his smoking truck needing to get back to the shop.
That thing was on fire.
So anyway, there you go. Very unfortunate that this happened. You know, he was trying to do the right thing. He got all brand new tires, and then this happened as soon as you hit the road. So we don't know if it's because it's a crappy quality tire or if he just had one bad tire in the batch. We don't really know what the problem is here, but I think he's going to go ahead and maybe go ahead and replace them all again pretty soon too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nope. Don't want to have the stress of this.
This is supposed to be a peace of mind of having good new tires on there. So let's walk around there and we'll see where the tire's going.
Hi, Pete.
All right, so there's a spare that he put on, and luckily this is really all that happened, is the aluminum trim here, and then the fender, the little fender trim piece. Luckily that was all it was. Could have been a lot worse, but the tread of the tire was actually wrapped around the axle, and the Road Ranger guy pulled it off. And he did find his other tire sensor there, so he's going to get that linked in and get it working. So these particular tires are called Super Cargo, and they're a you said this was a 10-ply tire. The puppies are over there crying at me. What are you crying about? All right, so there we go. That's the spare on there, so that's why we went ahead and I went into town to actually pick up the new spare. So we're gonna go ahead and get it mounted on the trailer now. We're gonna go ahead and get the new one mounted on. I went ahead and bought stainless steel U-bolts, stainless steel nuts and washers to mount it on there with it. what I want to do is just kind of mount it as close to this as I can without blocking the license plate. Let me see what diameter the tire is. To the side. All right, tire will be right next to the license plate right there. Let's see if it fits yours too.
Did you say you had these pre-cut?
No, I'm sorry. They were they come a little bit longer than you need.
Oh.
So I just measured them and just cut them at the shop with a cutoff wheel. They were the same length as the ones that I just took off here with yours, but I don't like them hanging out that far, so I just went ahead and trimmed them. Makes it a little more clean looking. Look at that, it fits. It's like it was made for it.
Yay.
Stainless steel washers, I'm just putting a little on there just because. Stainless steel hardware. I threw one extra nut in the bag just in case I lost one for whatever reason.
That's smart.
Pretty good right there. There we go.
Perfect.
All right. Now I didn't bring my lug wrench, but you got one, right?
I have one, yep.
All right.
I'll go grab it.
I'll let you go grab that. Well, that last clip of me mounting the spare tire on there didn't actually record. I think my assistant forgot to hit the shutter button. So I thought I would go ahead and re-record that and show you the spare mounted on the back of Steve and Lori's camper, and tell you about, try to real quickly tell you about what else happened after that. They had another incident. By the way, that's our setup right there, and this is their setup right here. Okay, so there is the spare mounted on the back of the camper. Now got our Hercules 14 ply spare tire in the rim, and it is all mounted up and it's working real good. So unfortunately they had another incident. They made it down to, I think, just north of Alachua on I-75. Steve had another alarm on the tire sensor indicating that one of the tires was losing pressure. It was down to 80 pounds. So he pulled off the interstate, got out to check to see if there was a low tire, a blowout, or whatever. And what it was, the valve stem was leaking around another tire, and he went down there and inspected, and he said it was cracked. So if you wiggled it, it actually would leak air out of it. So it was leaking down air that whole time. So they pulled off the interstate. Luckily they were right at the exit, so they pulled off into a parking lot, and they had to change tires again. Luckily I had that spare, so he had to put that spare. We had both spares on this side of the camper right there. That was another, you know, big event. And we had actually planned on, once we got down here to Clearwater, we were going to go down to, I was going to look for a auto parts store or a Harbor Freight or something, and we were planning on going to buy a nice bottle jack and, you know, some proper tools to have on here in case we need to change these tires again. And we just didn't make it that far yet, and it had another incident. So luckily he was able to get the spare changed out again. And what I did, I started calling around some tire stores. He was ready to get them tires off the camper. I called around to several tire stores in Gainesville. Nobody had the proper 14 ply trailer tires in stock. So I finally got in touch with a company called Dale's Tire in Gainesville, and I asked them if they had 14 ply. They said, yep, we got plenty of them in stock. I said, can they come down there with the camper and install a set? They said, yep, bring them, you know, tell them to come down here. We got them in stock, we'll get them loaded up. So that's what they did. They drove down, once they got the spare mounted on there, they went down to Dale's Tire, and they also had the same Hercules 14 ply tires. So he now has all four 14 ply mounted on the camper here, plus he's got the spare back there that I had bought him, and he went ahead and kept the his original spare tire, which he's got in the truck, I believe, with that other tire. It's still on there, so that's going to be a secondary backup for him now that he will keep, and we may see about mounting that on the camper somewhere to have as a secondary backup. So in this case, it really did prove to have a secondary backup very handy, but that is just so very unfortunate, the problems that they had. Even though that those other tires were a 10 ply, claimed to be the higher rated tire than these right here as far as the load rating of, he told me they were rated for 4,100 pounds each, which is a higher load rating. Obviously they were not good tires. Maybe they're good for a utility trailer, something like that, but not for this. This is a 12,000 pound fifth wheel right here. So we are hoping that these are going to do the trick for him, and he's not going to have any more problems with these nice big 14 ply heavy duty tires. So that's the end of this saga right here. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we're now here in Clearwater, and I'm planning on having a fun collaboration with the Weld.com guys. There's Abby. Abby's gonna help me, and we're gonna go see the Weld.com guys here in, well, this weekend anyway. So I'll have a video for that whenever we get to that, and that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. We will see you later.